Hi there, my name's Andy Young and I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland, New Zealand, and welcome to my Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Now this is the second video in a series covering work on the engine of a Toyota Rav4. Now in the first video we did some diagnostic work using a compression tester, and then I made, basically using that part of the compression tester, the pipe, I made a cobbled together kind of leak down tester to prove that the one or both of the exhaust valves had a fault. They were leaking in some way, and leaking a lot in some way. So now on this video we're going to go through removing the head from the block in situ, which is not a fun job, looking at the amount of space between the back of the engine and the firewall, because it's an engine that's leant right back, so it's as low as possible in the vehicle to stop people from rolling it over on the road, because they try and drive them like cars when it's a four-wheel drive. Yeah, I know, such is life. But it doesn't make us mechanics' jobs any easier. Doing the same job on the Safari, man, so easy. There's so much room to get to everything. On the RAV4, not at all. This is going to be lots of fun. We call that as mechanics, don't we? Okay, so follow me through step by step removing the head, and who knows, at the end of it I think we'll get down to the point where we actually remove the valves from the head, and we'll have a look at them. Gee, that was down very well, doesn't it? Right, that's that end blocked up. Good job of drying the engine on, isn't it? Cool. Right. Leave that to drain, I think. Come back. All is forgiven. There we go. No more leaks. Right, so the same with that hose there as well. We don't want to find a garage full of oil and then come back tomorrow. There we go. Done. Right, next job. Just a bit more space to get that cover. Poor little engine, cracked valve, I reckon. Seen that a lot on the quad bikes actually over the years. They were always knocking out, chipping exhaust valves and wearing out intake valves because they were a lot softer. They were on the Yamaha Breeze. I was forever fitting intake valves to them. Like a weekly occurrence. We did have 38 bikes though. So we're going to have to disconnect the cam belt. It is a 10mm spanner. What's going on? Caught. There we go.
Come on, go on. Okay, got one down there and probably one in the depths that I can't even get to. There we go. I bet there's another one. Yes, of course there is, Andy. There's always one more. So this is one more. There we go. Yep. Bender in.
Any further in?
I did the compression.
Yeah.
No compression number 3.
Yeah, I heard all that.
Did a leak down test. Ooh. Exhaust valves on number 3 cylinder. One of them, if not both, are not sealing at all.
Oh, that's good though. It's valves.
Yeah, and that could be the reason why it's burning the oil as well.
Yeah, you might not have to take the whole thing out then.
Correct.
So you're going to strip it down in situ.
I'm taking the head off in situ.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. Yeah, there's no point taking the engine out of that.
No, there isn't. No. If it's just valves, then no point.
That's your 14mm spanner, one on the bench. I'm starting to think that that MR2 is actually quite easy to work on compared to this. I wonder if Toyota just designed cars that are just arseholes to work on.
Probably.
Ta-da! Right, let's drop that down and take the crankshaft pulley off. Going down. Right, driver's side wheel off so we get the crankshaft pulley off. I wonder if it'll do it, Ben.
Oh, well.
Hey, that was good. Good job, Tang. Cool, yeah. 13 so all this to get the head taken off. Wow. There is also a huge oil leak somewhere in this engine, so there is an ulterior motive for taking all this off as well. So we'd have to get in there to do the cam belt. It's got a new cam belt putting on. All part of the job. Interesting concept. Right, at least that's out of the way. Maybe it required a proper puller. Tell you what, there, it worked really well. You know, when it's your own car, it's amazing how many shortcuts you take. There's a lot of oil around here, so maybe we're going to find this oil leak as well.
And actually, it's some spare oil. I don't think there was that much left in the weekend. Yeah,
Okay.
I had $9 left.
So I've destroyed a plate. You see, every now and again I do get things wrong. Oh well, we can fix that. Right, I'm going to line up the timing marks and then get the timing belt taken off. Okay, well, by the looks of it, I'm not too concerned about marking the head because that's going to come apart anyway. But there's your timing mark there. And of course we've got a little round circle there, look. So believe it or not, they're actually lined up, which is fantastic. So now I'll undo the tensioner and get that belt taken off. You never had to do one of those before. Right, so next job is camshaft pulley off. Then we can get this tin plate out of the way with whatever else is in the way. And then I can start getting these camshafts removed, the exhaust and the intake. And then finally we can undo the ringer head bolts, undo some more wiring and injectors and bits and pieces, and pull the head off. Can't wait. And if you hold that just against that intake manifold, and I can with this spanner, I can crack off this bolt here. Look. You ready?
Yep.
That was quite tight. One more. Now it's really important that you don't allow the camshaft, or any of the camshafts, to turn now that it's separated from the crankshaft. Now we've got the time belt off, otherwise you can end up bending valves and all sorts of terrible, terrible, nasty things for your engine. Right, Ben, you can let go now, I think. Take it off. I think we're going to have to remove that tensioner altogether, actually. Yeah, get your lawnmower sorted out.
Where do you put it?
Behind the door, where they live. Okay. Should do. There we go. Okay, just some 10mm bolts now. Whoa, I'm getting hungry. Yeah. As you can see, left hand has damaged his glove. He's been told he can't have a new one for a bit. very laid back engine, this one. I've done that to keep the centre of gravity as low as possible, I think, so these things don't roll over quite so much. Okay, must be another one somewhere. Oh, down there, I can feel it. Ta-da. So now we've got a heap of wiring to disconnect, all the sensors, any sensors on there, the ignition system, and all the pipework onto the induction side of things, because the induction side is going to come off with the head. There's no way you're going to want to try and take that off separately, so we'll take it off as one big lump. Okay, a few pipes to do, and then we can get those camshafts taken out. Right, I'm just going to take the dizzy cap off as one lump, I think, keep that on the car. We just disconnect it off the coil, get the king lead off. Oh yeah. What else have we got? Well, we've got the brake booster pipe that can come off. Get that out of the way. We've got some clips. I think. There we go, one. And we can do all the injectors. One. 2, 3, and of course, not forgetting number 4. Okay. Right. Another sensor on the end now. Right, got a big nut, big bolt under there which is holding the wiring harness in place. So let's undo that next, and then hopefully we can get all this lot out of the way. So we've got enough travel for that to get it off. Is that battery going to work?
Yeah, but the whole bolt is so corroded. There isn't actually an Allen bolt left.
Ah, really? Be careful, because you know batteries explode with sparks, don't you, if there's any kind of gas getting off.
There's gas in there. But it is a well ventilated area, so fingers crossed.
Make sure you wear a full mask.
Yeah. There's only one bolt.
Yes. It only takes one bolt.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, we've got that one. Just. One. Oh yeah, okay. I'll have that off there just to be sure. 2. Right. More wiring. TPS sensor, look at that. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's that one. TPS is off. Ah. It's been less stubborn now. Cool, yeah. Okay, so I've still got some more stuff going on. Another one there, look, off the ignition system. Pick up for the distributor. That one. Whew, we're getting there slowly. Okay, a few more things to unplug. 1, 2. I have to watch this video again just to see where everything goes. Right, so we've got some coolant pipes that are mounted off the head, so there's a bolt there to come undone. Okay, let's see where that other wiring goes. Oh, it's still coming out. So I'm busy draining the coolants at the moment. Let's see I want to see where this wiring goes. Oh, right to the back of the engine. You arseholes. Honestly. I've got some more vacuum pipes there to unplug and label. Oh, somebody's been labelling them already, look. Cool. What on earth? Oakley dokley. Slowly but surely. I'm bound to have missed 1 or 2 pipes, that's just the way it is, isn't it? But, okay, I'm going in. More of a gap behind the back now. I always seem to end up climbing into bloody engine bays. Going in, going in. Who would be a car mechanic, honestly? You see him doing this in Toyota. Just sort of climbing in your Prius engine bay, sir. I think so. Gonna have a special tool number 36FG for unplugging this one wire. Can't do it. Can't get to the little bastard. Why would you design a car like that? Honestly. No access underneath. Alright, let's maybe have to unplug that when we got the head off. So it's time to take out the camshafts.
Depends what's wrong with it.
Okay, next one along. Now they should have, yeah, they've got an arrow. So that arrow points towards the last box. Next. Oh, come on, what's that? That's going to be fun lining up. It's got a king spline on it. Oh, I've got a helper. Right, have that. Sorry, Tang. Okay, there's your cap. That's the dizzy side. We known as Oily Wednesday. Okay, that's your penultimate one. Right. Intake cam. It started straight up after how many months it was packed. And we've killed it. First one. Just imagine a few years' time these will all be electric motors that we're pulling apart.
Mm.
Won't they?
Essentially.
Okay, next. There you go. I've got a few gaskets to make there. Ah. Well, that didn't help, did it?
Bit brittle then.
That's not good at all. That's really bad.
Like new radiator bed.
That's pretty much new radiator bad, yeah. Must have been on the way out. I don't really do that. Okay. Just two more pipes to take off. Okay, I think we should undo the head bolts. And maybe we can drag the head over this way and then I can get my hand around the back to undo those clips.
Probably want to undo that, don't you?
Oh, well spotted, son.
Who's it?
Yeah, it's part of the head. It's on the head again, isn't it? So it needs to come off. Because it goes down to the block here, you see? That's on the block. So, yeah. There is so many fixtures and bolts and pipes and wires on these things. It's just unreal. There's one there that's missing. Look, that should have a nut on it to hold that wire on there.
Yep.
That was missing. Okay, so we've got, let's use bi-hex. Cool. So when you're undoing head bolts,
There's an order, isn't there?
yeah, you work your way in. So you start here. Yeah, with the big power bar and the adapter. I must get a ratchet for this. It'll be very useful.
Well, you can get a little ratchet head from them, can you?
You can, yeah, separate head. I used to have one of these.
It's quite cool.
So you do opposites. Right. And then that one. And that one. Definitely needed this. Then that one. Then that one. And then that one. And that one. Jeez, that was tight. Never been out from you. Then that one. That's it. Oh. Sounds really dry, don't they?
Now, should all those be the same length?
I don't know yet. I know. They all felt the same. Look at that. They might even be stretch bolts, I don't know.
Stretch bolts. What, they stretch a bit as you do them up?
Use once.
Oh.
So when you buy a head gasket, if they're stretch bolts, they'll give you new ones, but I don't think they have them. So that's the two furthest to the left.
Yeah. Like all the exhaust ones are bone dry. The intake ones are all covered in
I
oil.
think because they're all just running down the back as I'm taking them out.
Well, yeah, there's a nice little river of oil going down there now.
This car's very good at leaking oil.
Nice.
So I reckon it was a chip valve. That's my bet.
A or multiple?
It's unlikely both of chip at the same time.
I didn't take a lot.
Didn't it?
I was expecting more of a fight than that.
Right, can you just do me a favour and cut the end of that bit of cardboard off? And I'll have that sheet down here because I want to see if I can pull the head across and I want it to sit on something. Right. Okay. Well, just very gently lift it up and see if it's free.
Yep.
Alright, just sit on there. You got it?
Yep.
You bastards! It was that bit, look.
Evil.
There's that, and of course we had that there as well, and that definitely should have some wires out of the end of it.
What sensor is it?
You see those two, that big bracket there that should have bolts in it?
Yeah.
That hasn't got any in, has it?
No.
Somebody has been in this before.
They haven't they? They've done a shit job putting it back
And
together.
down there on the gearbox, there's a lot of orange Halamar stuff, the gasket sealant
Yeah.
on the gearbox.
Yeah.
Right, let's put it on the bench. Ready?
Yep.
All I can say is that was not fun, and obviously Toyota designed the engine so that you couldn't take the head off in situ, which we just did. Yeah, a real pain in the ass, and I'm going to have a read of the manual again, and actually I'll have a read of the manual full stop. I'm pretty much guarantee that manual will say remove engine from vehicle before removing the head. Okay, so this is what you'll be waiting for. We've got number 3 cylinder, which is pulley gasket. That one there. Fix that later. And you're looking at the 2 exhaust valves. So if I just put this on its back, you're going to see before I do what the problem is. Not much. Oh, yes, there is. Well, that shouldn't be there. Okay, we've got a massively chipped valve. So let's take that valve out and have a look at it. That looks so cool. Okay, so a nice close-up for you. 2 intake valves, 2 exhaust valves. Obviously it's been burning lots and lots of oil, as you can see. But the big problem is, well, that bit. That shouldn't be there. That should be all valve. So it's chipped the valve and all the compression was leaking out through there. So I'm going to pop that valve out, take that one out as well, I think, while we're on. It's only got the little tiny motorbike one on it. This one. Just keeping it lined up a bit awkward. Got it. It's one. Maybe it'll just ping out as I do it. There we go. So one collet went for freedom. Don't know where he's gone. Man, there's some build up on there. Oh man, look at that. That's impressive. That's been red hot. Look at that, man. That's proper, isn't it?
That's good.
Jeez. Well, I'll tell you what, none of them are in very good condition at all.
Right, well there you go. That was quite a long, arduous mission to get that head off that block. Lots of pipes and wires and things that it's very, very difficult to get to, and I haven't covered all of it on the video. If I covered disconnecting every piece of the loom and every single vacuum pipe and fuel line and bracket and stuff, you'd still be watching it tomorrow. So, you know, it's there to give you an idea. There is a workshop manual out there, get that as well. But it's all about intuition. Don't force things. Have a look. Keep your eyes open, and use a torch and see what's going on. And you know, step by step, take your time. So the 2 valves that I removed, I have now cleaned up, and I've been having a little think, a ponder, we call that in Yorkshire, over a cup of tea. And this is the valve that's failed. Look at that. That's a big chunk. And this is its friend that runs right next to it, you know, like that, okay? And this one's fine. And this one really isn't fine. Now, the reason why I clean them up is I could have a really good inspection of the metalwork and see what's going on. And on this valve, yeah, sure, there's, I don't know if you can see all this or not, but there's some pitting on the valve surface, and you know, the same thing on the valve seat as well. Bit of pitting. Can you see that okay on there? Is it a bit too close? I don't know. Is it going to focus? Probably not. That pitting, you know, the vehicle was stood for a while in somebody's garage prior to me purchasing it, and it was there for quite a while. And it might be that these two valves were actually in the open position, and that pitting has been caused by corrosion. You know, moisture's been getting in, and it is really damp in Auckland. But yeah, that valve's knackered. But the reason why I cleaned them up specifically was to see if there was any similar kind of failure, although nowhere near as bad, on this valve. Had it started to do this? And the answer is categorically no. There's no marks at all. Now, I was also looking at this fail valve, and again, I hope you can see this all right, but there's no sharp edges. It's all very rounded, which sort of tells me, and I'm going to speak to some of the other guys that I work with as well, because, you know, not come across one with this kind of shape to it. Normally, on the quad bikes, when we had a chip valve, it was sharp edges left on the valve. Now, however, the quad bikes were all single cylinders. So the minute you got something like this fail on a quad bike, single cylinder engine, it doesn't run, so you've got to fix it. Whereas with this particular vehicle, we kept using it for quite some time, and it did a reasonable distance with a chipped valve running on 3 pots. So I have a sneaky suspicion that the burning exhaust gases, and with the engine revving, you know, above 4,000 or 5,000 RPM going down the motorway, despite having such a humongous leak on the valve, that engine was still actually firing on that 4th cylinder. The vibrations died down, and it actually pulled a lot better in the higher revs. So I have a sneaky suspicion we've been having burning exhaust gases flowing through that broken valve. And those gases are obviously very hot. And that's caused the metal to really, really hot, and essentially for that valve to melt. And that's rounded off all the sharp edges. And in actual fact, I think it's gone worse than that. I think it's even eaten away even more of the valve, because that's a really weird, strange shape to actually crack. So that valve, the actual chip, may have been much, much smaller than that. And then as the metal's been melting, it's been pushing, you know, being forced down the exhaust pipe. So why has it happened? Well, again, I think it's happened because, remember, this engine burns oil. It burns a lot of oil. And when you get carbon buildup on the back of a valve, and on the front of a valve, actually on the face of the valve here, it creates what we call a hot spot. And that focuses heat on that particular part of the valve. And I think that's caused the valve to crack and chip, and a small piece of the valve has gone. So that's my diagnostic of the problem. So all of this could have been failed, and don't forget, it was burning oil for about a year before this happened. So if we'd pulled the engine apart, you know, a few weeks after it started burning oil and did all the work, this valve would not fail. It would never have failed, I don't think. It's only failed because we were really stubborn and couldn't be bothered to fix it. And it's a $500 car, so you think, well, what the hell, we'll just run it till it pops and chuck it away. But now we've got to the point where my daughter wants to use it, and you know, I could really do with it. This is making a cool video, I think, because this is interesting stuff to some people out there. I'm sure it is. So yeah, and there's some, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a really, just by the side of it, there's a really big, there you go, really big pop mark either side of that where the metal's been eaten away. So yeah, so the next video, without dragging on too long, the 3rd video in this series is going to be stripping down the whole cylinder head, removing all the valves, obviously replacing, I'm going to replace both of these two, and any others that look really bad. Now obviously if they all turn out to be shot, going out and buying 16 new valves for a head is for a vehicle this old is just not viable. These things are going to be, well, I reckon at least $50 each, New Zealand, maybe a lot more actually. So 50 bucks times 16, man, plus GST, that's nearly $1,000 just in valves. It's just not worth doing. So what, in that case, one option is to go and get a second-hand head. So that could be the answer for this vehicle, is just to go and get a complete head that we know is good, new head gasket, drop it on, bolt it all up, and away we go. But it's burning oil. So is it burning oil because of the valve stem oil seals, or is it burning oil because of the bore and the rings, the piston rings? So I need to decide that as well. So I need to do a really good inspection of the block, car, of the block, and see if it's really badly glazed, if there's any possible chipped piston rings. And I think basically if we're going to go to the extent of replacing the head, then there's no reason why I shouldn't whip the sump off, pull out the pistons and con rods, give it a hone and chuck some new rings in, freshen it up, you know, and then it should be good for quite a while. So if you're in for it, if you're going to do it, do the job properly, that's why I always say. So there's no doubt that'll be a load more videos. So there's going to be a catalogue of videos covering all this particular work. But that's the end of this video. This video was removing the head from the block, and that's been done, and I've even pulled out a couple of valves to show you all the problems. Okay, well, hope you found the video helpful. If you've got any questions or comments, then do leave them down the bottom and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, then do so, because you get free notifications as and when any new videos get uploaded, so you can be one of the first to see them. And I'm pretty lazy. I tend not to add any adverts to my videos for the first 2 or 3 days when they go onto the channel. So which means that if you're going to watch it, if you want to watch it in the first 2 or 3 days. I shouldn't say that really, should I? And you won't get bombarded by any adverts either. But I need to have the adverts on the videos. Having those adverts, I know it's a pain in the ass when you watch the video, but hey, 2 or 3 seconds, you can click the box. But it means that I can create a very small revenue from doing these videos. And that's not the main reason for doing them. The main reason is for my students learning all about this kind of stuff. And in about 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be teaching engines. This video, or this series of videos, is really important for them and for their learning. And for all the motor vehicle students at Unitec, they all watch these videos, which is really cool. But I hope you found it helpful, and well, thanks for watching. Cheers, over and out.